Hey there, Stampers. This is Sherry Roth. I'm a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Alberta, Canada. And welcome to this month's Paper Pumpkin Live, where I scrapbook with a Stampin' Up's current Paper Pumpkin kit. So this is the Nests of Winter kit that I just received last week, but because I was at a retreat last week, I couldn't scrapbook with it live with you. So I'm here this week to create a layout using the contents of this kit. But before we get started, I have a few things that I wanted to remind you about. So for the month of October, we still have our kits collection on sale, and that is all of our kits from our kits collection are on sale for up to 30% off, and that goes until October 31st, 2024. And we also have our starter kit promotion, which is a fabulous promotion if you want to purchase the starter kit. If you have a really long wish list or like to get your hands on products early, this is a great option for you. You get to choose $206 worth of product as part of your starter kit, and that can be anything from our online offerings to our catalog offerings to some upcoming, like some products that are in a pre-order period for demonstrators right now and going to be available to customers in November. You can choose $206 worth of products and only pay $135 here in Canada, and there's no shipping and no GST. So it is a fabulous deal. But that, again, that offering is only available until October 31st. Okay, and then a couple reminders about some classes. I've got some deadlines coming. So I have the Winterly Treetops class to go, where we'll be creating 6 cards. These are 3 of the 6 cards that we'll be creating, and it coordinates with this month's Paper Pumpkin kit as well. Deadline for that is October 28th, and I will, in the description below, there is a link to where you can find more information on participating in that class. I can ship anywhere in Canada for a class kit, but there's also a tutorial only option for anybody who is outside of Canada. And then I have a Christmas album class that is available. This is also a class to go. I have linked in the description where you can find all the information. But this is a December daily type album. So in the class, I will walk you through creating an entire December album where you will have all of your pages prepared to document your holiday memories. And this is kind of an interactive album. So there's little flip outs, there's lift ups, there's pockets. Such a fun album. Again, I can ship classes to go anywhere in Canada. And then there will be a tutorial option. The tutorial isn't quite ready yet, but it will be, I'm hoping it will be available by the end of next week. So I'm just doing a quick flip through. Such a great way to document those your December memories. We always think that we're not going to forget these things, but unfortunately we do. And then this pulls out, and I did the 31 days. So I wanted to document the entire month because we have things that happen after Christmas as well. So there's that, and then this lifts out. And the great thing about this style of album is you can add additional pages, you can take out pages, you can reconfigure things. If maybe let's say you didn't have 2 photos for this, you could add another decorative pocket, so you will have some pieces left over. So it's a great way to create base pages for your December memories. Okay, I think I've covered everything. Now let's jump right into this month's Paper Pumpkin kit. So if you're not familiar with Paper Pumpkin, this is a subscription kit that is offered by Stampin' Up! And every month you get a box of supplies to create whatever that month's project is. So normally it's cards, but on occasion there might be tags or some sort of 3D project. This month you get the supplies to create 10. I think it's 10 cards. Looks like 10 cards, and these are like fancy fold cards. Let me share. So they're kind of tri-fold, so they open up like that. So that is one of them. So everything that you need is in here, and even the envelope is decorated. It's so fun. So it's meant to be quick and easy crafting. But of course, you can create alternates as well. And what I like to do is I like to create one of each of the cards, and then I like to scrapbook with it because all of the pieces are cut and colored and die cut for you, ready to go. You can easily scrapbook with these kits. So every month you get an exclusive stamp set. So the only way that you can get this stamp set is by being a subscriber, or purchasing this kit. Unfortunately, this kit is no longer available. It's sold out. Um, and the refills are no longer available as well. So if you don't want to miss out on any future kits, make sure that you subscribe to Paper Pumpkin. And I've got a link if you live in Canada in the description below. You also get a Stampin' Spot. So this month it's Shaded Spruce. You get any adhesive that you might need to assemble the project. So this month is a roll of tear and tape and some dimensionals. You get envelopes if you're getting cards. And then you get all the die cut pieces, card bases. There's some ribbon in this one. So you can see that all you need to do is just pop out the pieces. It really makes for creating beautiful projects quick and easy. Okay, so I'm going to leave some of this out. We can pop this back in here. And we're going to set this aside. So now this Paper Pumpkin kit actually coordinates with a collection from the September to December mini catalog. It's called, I think it's called The Nests of Winter. Let me just find it. Nests of Winter. So on pages 30 and 31, it coordinates with that collection. So I have pulled out this DSP because these are card bases that we're working with. If I want something that goes 12 inches, yeah, I can piece together some things, but I pulled it out just in case I want to include a little bit on my layout. I also pulled out the dies just in case I want to add some extra leaves, and I might actually incorporate some twine as well. I'm not sure. We'll see. We'll see where things take us because I have a loose plan, but I don't generally plan out the entire layout. Okay, so I am going to be documenting 2 3x3 photos and a 2x3 photo. So I just cut some copy paper so those can serve as my photo placeholders. Like I said, I've got the DSP here. I found this scrap piece in my DSP pack, which I might include. So I kept that out. It's always nice to be able to use some of these narrow strips that we have. Okay, and then one of the cards, actually, let me grab a card base. Actually, 2 of the cards. Let me grab a full card base, the card bases, so I can show you what I'm talking about. Okay, so because these cards have little windows, they've got these pop-out pieces. So this green one is a rectangular shape, but this one is this fabulous shape here. So what I've done is I've used that as a template, and I cut from some of the card bases, I cut some additional shapes. So let me share here. Okay, so this was from the card that I created here because on the card you don't actually use it. So this was this one. This is what I used for a guide. I also cut one from this card piece here. So I traced that, and I always line it up with the edge so that I have these pieces that I can use on a different project. And then I also cut one from this piece, so that gives us 3. And then from the other card base, I cut, this is such a fabulous background. I love this one. So this one I didn't line up right with the edge because I really wanted to get as much of that green foiling as I could, and I wanted this open space here. So I kind of positioned it not quite center, but a little bit closer to the center, and then traced it and cut it out. And again, I tried to trim, I started the cut so that I can use this strip if I want. I can also use this strip. So I strategically plan out how I'm going to cut them. And then from another card base, which I think I must have used most of it, I cut, oh no, you know what? It was from this piece that was left over. I cut another one. So I've got, that gives me 5 of them. And then the envelopes in this month's kit are great. So it's got some green foiling around here. Unfortunately, I couldn't get that in without it looking weird. So what I did was I lined this up. I opened up my envelope, so I separated it. And then I lined this up with just above this foiling and inside this foiling. And then I traced around and I've got this piece here. So this is kind of right here to give you an idea of what it looks like. But then I didn't want to waste this piece, so I went ahead and I fussy cut that piece as well. Because you know what? It could be a little tuck in somewhere, right? So now that gave me 6 of these kind of dome-shaped things. So now what I want to do is I kind of want to figure out how I want to position. So these are the only 2 that have the same pattern. So I want those kind of opposite each other. And let's maybe put that one there. This one here. Okay, so I'm thinking something kind of like this. And then maybe this up above. And then I've popped out all of the pieces from the die cut pieces. And this is what I cut from the envelope. This might look cute up here, tucked underneath there. So that pulls in those branches. And then we've got some birds here. Thinking maybe an embellishment cluster, maybe here, because then I've got my triangle. So maybe there. We could do a couple birds, something like that. I've got this that I could use for a title. And I've got this big piece. I've also kept this, so this is the leftover bit. I never throw anything away until I'm done with a kit. So this is the leftover piece because I can trim this off and this might look good kind of tucked underneath there. Okay, and then my photos, I think are gonna go here. So that's kind of what I'm thinking, a rough plan. But I want to do some stamping and yeah, we'll see where things go. Okay, so in the stamp set, there is this leaf image. So I'm going to use that and stamp in the background. And I'm thinking I'm going to do a little bit here, maybe a little bit here, and maybe just a little bit, maybe just in the 2 sections. I'm not sure. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. Okay, so I'm going to use Shaded Spruce, which is the same color that comes in the kit. And we're just going to ink that up and we're going to slide this out of the way. And I'm just going to move it back just to kind of see where I want to position my leaves. Maybe another one up here. Yeah, maybe we'll do one more. Kind of like that. So we'll include some stamping there. And then I want to make this a little bit more full. So I'm going to add some stamped images up there. Sorry, I'm just checking the comments here. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining me. Do that. We'll just do 2 of them up here. Okay, and then I think I'm going to hold off on adding anything else for now. But I think I do want to add some of these little splatters. So I'm going to grab that stamp. And maybe some Pool Party ink. So we'll go with a little bit of a lighter color. And we'll just stamp some of this in here. This is a great little winter kind of layout. But it could also be Christmas. Okay. All right, now I think we're going to start assembling. So I'm going to grab my quilting ruler, which I love for helping me make sure that things are straight. So I'm going to add this piece first. And I'm not going to put it right at the top. I'm going to leave a little bit of white space at the top. So maybe about a quarter of an inch. Put that there. And now I want to decide how far down I want these pieces. Actually, let's add our photo mats. For our placeholders. So I just cut these out of copy paper, and then I can just remove them when I go to add my photos or cover them over. Okay, this will allow for fewer pieces to kind of be moving around while we're working on our layout. Okay, let's slide this out of the way. I'm thinking that that should be good. I'm going to adhere the middle one first. So line this up so it's straight, and then we know that this is a 12-inch piece, so I'm going to use the 6-inch mark and just kind of center this. So right about there should be center. And then I'll position these two pieces. And I'll leave about 1/8 of an inch in between so that we've got a little bit of that white showing. I love the green foiling in this kit. It's just so pretty, especially on the dark background. Okay, so now what I need to decide is if I want this butted right up against it or if I want a little bit of white space. I think I want a little bit of white space. I like the look of that. Okay, and then for this one, for this row, it doesn't really matter. I can use this as a guide. I don't need to bring out my ruler. This piece is gonna be for my journaling. So whatever photos I decide to put in here, I will just add my journaling onto this block. All right. Okay, so we've got our base page done. Now it's time to decorate. I'm going to bring in my paper trimmer and trim this down. Okay, this piece I can toss. I'm not going to end up using that. But this tiny little piece, this might be good up here. I'm going to add this. We're going to slide this kind of underneath. Like that. And then I think that'll be nice over top. Okay. All right, now what? Let's see here. We've got this and this. I'm going to use a dimensional and add this guy on top of here. And then this will get dimensionals as well, but I'm thinking maybe some twine in behind there just to add a little bit of texture. So part of this suite has, or part of this, the coordinating suite in the mini catalog has some twine where you get 3 different colors. You get those 3 colors. I think it's called the Naturals linen thread or something along those lines. And I think I'm going to use the blue. So I'm going to add a little bit of adhesive in behind here and kind of do almost like a figure eight. It's quite, you know what, it's quite curly. So let's straighten it out a little bit. So if you take your bone folder, if you've got twine that has lots of curl in it, sometimes you want that, but sometimes you want it to be, you want to be able to manipulate it a little bit better. So if you just take your bone folder and run it along, now you can see it's got a little, it's got fewer curls. So just adding a little figure eight loop. And then I'll trim the end. And let's see. Yeah, I like that. Okay, and then we're going to add dimensionals on here. I love lots of dimension on my layouts. I'm okay with the added bulk in my albums. I don't have to worry about extra postage like I do on a card. Okay, this go right there. Love it. Okay, now I have this big one too, but I feel like it's just a, well, maybe it could go here. I don't know, that might be too big. Plus then I feel like I've got too many spots. I think I'm going to leave that off. Okay, let's see what else we've got here. I'm going to add some more twine up at the top here. So again, I'm going to straighten this out a little bit. Still need to add my title. Got to figure out where I want to add that. Okay, I think that's going to go up there. I'm not going to adhere it just yet. So I still have this label shape, and then I've got a piece of ribbon. This might be a good spot to put my title. Okay, so I'm going to have a look at the stamps and see what I can do to create a title here. So we've got the word Christmas, happy holidays, merry, joyful thoughts to you this season. We could maybe do joyful Christmas season. Let's try that. Okay, so I'm going to take the word Christmas because it's the biggest word, and I'm going to stamp that first. And I've got a class this afternoon, so I'm running out of blocks. All my stamps are on, or all my blocks are mounted with stamps for my class. So I'm going to stamp the word Christmas. Try it right in the middle. I'm not sure if all three words are actually going to fit. Okay, and then I think I'm going to bring in some red. Grab my real red. And actually, I might use my Stampin' Write marker instead. Okay, let's clean this so I can use the block. I think the Stampin' Write marker might be a better choice because I just need the one word. Just going to clean this so that I can use the block. Okay, so then I want the word joyful. So these are our Stampin' Write markers. They are different from our Stampin' Blends. These are water-based markers. So you can use them on your stamps. I find that they don't work the best on photopolymer. They're okay. I prefer to use ink pads on photopolymer, but in a pinch, Okay, let's maybe try. I think it'll fit right in here. Okay, and then I'm going to clean it again. And then I'll ink up the word season. Hopefully that'll stamp okay. It's not inking up the best. You know what? Let's try something different. Let's see if we can get the ink to stick by, I haven't tried this yet or before. We're just going to experiment. So I'm going to ink up just the word season with a little bit of Versamark, which is a sticky ink, and then see if my ink will stick. I don't know if it's working any better or not. We might have to resort to the ink pad. No, it's still not working. Okay. Thankfully, this word is a little bit easier to just ink up. So I can just put it, because I can see through, I can just ink the word season. And we're going to put that down here. Oh, it's going to fit perfectly. That worked out beautifully. All right. So that's another great way to use your stamps, is to kind of pick and choose your words that you want so that you can customize the stamps. Okay, and then I'm going to take one of these ribbon strips. So these ribbon strips, they're just cut, and they're cut so that they are just a smidge longer. So you just see a little bit peeking out. I want a little bit more than that peeking out, so I'm going to trim it. And then extend it a little bit. And then we can add some dimensionals to this. Here they are. Actually, I wonder if I want to add a little bit of twine in behind here. I think that might be nice. Let's grab some more of that twine, plus that will bring in, although if I've got twine there. Yeah, I'm going to do that. Okay. All right. So we will add just a little bit of adhesive on here. That is the bottom. And we're just going to do like a little loop, I think, for this one. Let's try this. Sometimes it's fun to kind of experiment with different ways to use your twine or your products. Okay, I don't love that. Okay, so what we're going to do is, well, we can just do a big figure 8. And we'll put this on there like that. Okay. All right, so journaling will go on here. We can add this. So let's add a mini glue dot on here. I am using some mini glue dots left over from a past kit. So you just peel them off, peel off the backing, and then stick them down. Okay, I'm loving how this came together. Okay, and then I want to add a little bit of bling. So I went through my bling to see what would kind of work with this collection, and I pulled out two different ones. I pulled out, these are the Tinsel Gems, the 4-pack. This is from the annual catalog, and it came with 4 different colors, but I've only got 2 colors left. And the green would work, and I think I could get away with the blue as well. Or I pulled out the Regal foiled adhesive back dots. These are from the mini catalog because there are blue ones here with a bit of gold. And I think I like these ones better. So I'm going to go ahead with those. And actually I've got a narrow strip here. Let's use some of these up. Add a couple there. And actually I'm going to do this here and here. Okay, and then let's add some down here. Is this straight? Looks like it might be crooked. Okay, and then I'll pull some from here. Okay, and then we'll add some up here as well. And there we go. Our layout is done. So it came together pretty quickly. I love how I used the shape of this to create the blocks. And let me bring it up a little closer so that you can see. So fun. So you can see how quickly your scrapbook layouts can come together when you use paper pumpkin. You do sometimes need to be a little bit more creative when you've only got a card base to work from. But if you check my paper pumpkin playlist, you can see that for almost every past kit since I started doing this, you can see how all the different styles of layouts that I've created using pretty much card kits as a starting point and then scrapbooking with them. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a fabulous weekend. Take care.